Welcome, one and all, to episode 26 of Titan Tea Time. I'm one of your hosts, Petter, and with me I got my co-host, James.
Hello.
And today we're talking about our favorite Titans in Attack on Titan. Nasty of the Nasty podcast was supposed to have joined us for this episode, as I think we mentioned at the end of the previous one. Sadly, we weren't able to get recording stuff working and stuff like that, so he's sadly not with us in this episode, but we wish him all the best regardless, obviously. Also, I think both me and James, we feel pretty confident this might be the shortest Titan Titan episode potentially ever, like even in the future. Like we might not ever make one shorter than this. Of course, watch us saying this and it turns out being like a 3-hour long episode.
Oh God, I think I'd pass out.
I have a hard time thinking that, but who knows? Oh, actually, also in other news, since we last recorded the Titan Titan episode, I've gotten myself a little kitten. Her name is Shino, and she is adorable. And maybe she'll make little cameos from time to time on Titan Tea Time from now on. We'll see. Just wanted to say that in case I get distracted at some point, it might be Shino, my little kitten, who is doing something. But anyway, on with the discussion. We have a few little discussion topics that I prepared ahead of this to kind of get through the episode. So the first one is pretty basic. I guess the main obvious topic for an episode like this, and it's basically our favorite Titans, like just overall favorite Titans. So what do you have to say for that, James?
I think I'll give my top three.
Yeah.
Just because I don't even know. It's a concept I haven't really thought about before.
Oh, you haven't?
No. I have like notes and everything, but
Right. No, but I mean, before this, like, did you like before we decided on this doing this episode? Like, have you never thought about which might be your favorite Titans?
Not as in depth as I thought I had.
Gotcha.
Like
Fair.
the discussion when we got the topic, I was like, oh, okay. Wait, what is my favorite Titan? Like
I see.
I really didn't know. So number three, I say is the Armored Titan. I just the story relevancy from the very beginning of that, and kind of the design and the reveal of Reiner being the Armored Titan kind of made an impression on me. So that was good. Number two is Falco's Bird Titan.
Yeah.
I really like that transformation and how he eventually gets wings, and I think that kind of really opened up the jar of other designs that we can get.
Oh yeah.
Or at least the jar of possibilities. And overall, I think it's a solid one, to be honest.
Absolutely. I mean, it's super unique. Like we never I remember because I was listening back to one of our chapter discussion episodes before the reveal came, or even before it was even a possibility, even before it seemed like a possibility that he would be a flying Titan. Like we were joking about that. We were laughing at the thought of that. So like it just seemed so unlikely. So yeah, I think it makes him very unique and very, very cool. Definitely.
And then I think my favorite one, after giving it a lot of thought, is Eren's founding Titan, the one that he uses to rumble the world.
Ooh.
Just because Titans should be frightening, and I think Isayama says that Titans aren't supposed to be scary. They're supposed to be creepy or something like that. I disagree. I think there's something frightening about the creepiness, and surely Eren's founding Titan was meant to be frightening. I mean, it is a disturbing piece of Titan design. Like its head is not upside down. It's right side up, but its like body is flipped over, like it's hanging.
Yeah, it's
and
weird.
Oh gosh, it's just if you were to see that in real life, oof. I mean, be along with all the colossal Titans. Gosh, I think that would scar a person, man.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, he really he really nailed that one, like the design and everything. And it is, I think, hands down the largest Titan that we ever have known of in the world of Attack on Titan, right? It is bigger than Ymir's founding Titan, I think.
Probably.
Regardless, I think it's a great pick for number one. I sort of made a slightly different list. I guess kind of a top three ish. But I will actually start with number one. My number one is the Armored Titan. Now maybe I am a little bit biased because I am obviously a big Reiner fanboy, but I really am trying to look past my bias. I do think the Armored Titan has, in my opinion, the coolest design. I think it's just like really unique looking with the armor plates and all. Like it's not as fleshy and like muscly looking as the others, or like just like yeah, like or just skin. Like it's unique. It doesn't look like a big human or like a one of those dolls in a doctor's office, like with showing all the muscles.
A mannequin.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it doesn't look like that, and it doesn't look like a large human, like sort of like Aaron's Titan does, like his first form. You know, it's actually a pretty unique design, I think, especially the head. Like I love the head, like the with the mouth kind of. It's I don't know. It's just really cool. I love it.
Yeah.
And also the powers. I think it's super cool. For some reason I've always been a sucker for like super defensive characters or creatures or stuff like that. So that's also something that I think is very very nice about the Armored Titan.
And the plot armor. I mean, that's a strong power. Just
incredibly strong, yeah.
Most of the main characters have that.
That's fair. That's fair. But then I sort of, I guess I didn't do mine exactly the way you did, because you did like for specific Titans. Mine is a little bit broader, I guess. The armor, I guess, yeah, it's mostly specifically for Reiner's, because he's the only main Armored Titan we ever saw. Like, sure, we saw some during the Battle of Heaven and Earth at the end. The one like summoned by Ymir. There were like multiple of all sorts of Titans there. So there were some armoreds there, but anyway, in general, my list here is a little bit more broad, like just for the Titan powers themselves. So in second place, I have the Beast Titan and the Jaw Titan, sort of for the reason that, like, partially at least, for like your Falco Bird Titan, like we know that these two Titans have the potential of being very diverse in their designs. They can be birds, or like, especially the Beast Titans, I think can be like pretty much any animal. I think one interesting theory, or find rather, that we saw, especially like through the Battle of Heaven and Earth battle, was that the Beast Titans, and this is probably just an Easter egg, but they kind of cover the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac, which was pretty cool. But I'm sure they could be even other animals besides those, of course. But also the fact that the Jaw Titan, at least the one that Falco had, could also take that kind of shape, I guess proves that they also can be, well, or resemble various animals. Like Tom Xaver's Beast Titan, I think, is one of my favorite Beast Titan designs, specifically like the ram, with the ram head. There was also in the battle of Heaven and Earth, man, I'm referring to that a lot now, but in that battle there was also like a Minotaur Titan that's like also one of the absolute coolest Beast Titan designs I've ever seen. So yeah, I just think that there's a lot of fun variety in the designs of those, so I choose those for the design, really. Whereas like the Armored Titan, which was my number one, I chose that one for design and for powers. But the Beast and Jaw, I choose mostly as my second place for the design itself. And then for my third spot is also a tie between the Attack Titan and the Warhammer Titan, and I choose them only for their powers, because I think they have the coolest powers out of all the Titans.
So really, you did a top 5.
It sort of ended up that way, but I'm lumping some together. I guess, is that cheating? I guess it is.
Whatever. It's my podcast. I can do what I want.
Exactly. Given, I guess, the Founding Titan has super cool powers too, but I think the Founding Titan's powers are so overpowered that it becomes a little bit boring, in my opinion, which is why the Founding Titan isn't in my list. But the Attack Titan and the Warhammer Titan, obviously the Attack Titan for being able to see future holders' memories. I think that's obviously awesome. And the Warhammer, obviously, with specializing with creating things out of Titan hardening, is super awesome. Just very nice.
So I'm actually going to change my number 3 to the Warhammer Titan.
Oh.
Just because if that's okay.
Of course, of course.
I love the Armor Titan, but for some reason I didn't put Warhammer in, not because I forgot it, because I have it in some other discussion points.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason I don't know, I didn't put there, and I think specifically, I forget, is it Laura's
Oh yeah, yeah. She was named in the anime, right?
yeah,
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 Lara Tiber.
her Warhammer Titan, just because that's the one we really got to know. I love the design. I think it's really cool. The hammer, it kind of reminds me of the hammer you use for mochi making, kind of.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm sure it's different, but yeah, I mean, I think I'll have more to say about the Warhammer Titan later on. But I think, in terms of design and just favorite Titans, I think that takes Reiner's Armor Titan for me.
That's totally fair. And I think even like kind of comparing the Armor Titan to the Warhammer Titan, obviously the Armor Titan has like I guess you can say an automatic hardening. Like it doesn't choose to have that or not. Like it automatically is created with Titan hardening all around it. Like that's kind of the gimmick of the Armor Titan. Meanwhile, the Warhammer Titan, at least Lara's Warhammer Titan, it has this white thing all around it, kind of, which I usually try to, or I kind of interpret that as it's something that she has kind of put there herself, like she spawns it there herself, and that it is a armor of some sort. Obviously, I can't say for sure, but it's the impression I've gotten that it is Titan hardening that she creates, as she does with any, like when she makes like weapons as well out of Titan hardening. She kind of gave herself an armor as well, perhaps.
Yeah, I wish we would have got another instance of seeing a Warhammer shifter, just so that we could understand more about the Warhammer's power.
Yeah.
Because does the Warhammer always start off in a crystal and then is attached by that white substance and it forms a Titan? I'm not sure.
Right.
Is that just something that Laura kind of developed on her own? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's a cool concept, and I think that's part of the reason why she left such an impression, or at least that Titan did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely the Titan with the least focus in the entire, like out of the 9 Titans, it's definitely the one with the least focus, I'd say, in the series. But it's still so memorable. Like her appearance there in the Marley arc, and like it's just so good.
Right.
But yeah. Also, for anyone listening, at least if you're listening on YouTube where you can comment, please let us know your favorite Titans out of, like, I guess the 9 Titans. Yeah, always fun to see that. But we are moving on to our favorite Titan shifters right now. And I guess I'll just get mine out of the way because it's going to be no surprise whatsoever. Obviously, my favorite Titan shifter is Reiner. Since he's my favorite character, then out of the Titan shifters, clearly he's my favorite Titan shifter. But I guess Grisha, Armin, and Zeke are like runner-ups for me.
Armin, really?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm just going to say quickly 3 other ones besides Reiner, Grisha, Armin, and Zeke are definitely the ones closest.
Interesting. So, I kind of took this. Well, first off, I think those are good picks, and Grisha's interesting just because of his kind of tormented backstory and everything he went through, even before becoming a shifter.
Right.
So I like that. I like that pick, and his Titan is very burly. It's kind of I feel like it's the opposite of what he is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have no idea how it ended up that way. It was the choice of Ymir, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But still, I think that his experience with being the Attack Titan was very good.
Yeah,
and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I went with, well, my choice is based on not so much the character themselves, but just how much they use the shifting and how much the shifting played a role in their character. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I guess to that sense, it's maybe I chose a pretty easy one. It's Eren.
Fair, totally fair.
I say that because we see his progression from trying to control the Attack Titan to basically, being able to transform at will into the Attack Titan, not multiple times.
Mm.
It becomes very second nature. You really see that progression, and just how the Attack Titan powers just evolve over time as Eren continues to grow and learn things. I think overall, just Eren's almost limitless possibilities of powers. It's not limitless, but it felt that way at times as he
Right.
kept growing.
Yeah, and I mean he had 3 Titan powers. Like,
Yeah,
so for a Titan shifter, I mean he was clearly the most powerful one.
I mean,
I'd say,
yeah,
at least in this story.
yeah, and obviously I really liked the founding Titan in a kind of a horror sense.
Yeah.
By the way, is it accurate to call it his like founding Titan? I mean,
Hmm?
or should I be calling it like the Attack Founding Titan? Like,
Oh, I mean it's also
uh,
the Warhammer at the same time. So,
true.
so, so I don't know. I think
No, I don't
I
even
think
know.
when Marley sees his attack, like the rumbling reaching the continent, I think
Yeah,
or in the manga there, I think they say it's the Attack Titan.
they do. Yeah.
Um, but really, like he is all 3, so I guess whatever.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that all that is why I put him as my favorite
Hmm.
shifter.
I think that's a really good pick. Like really, I think your answer makes more sense than mine. Mine was maybe a little bit too simple.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
oh, I like Reiner, so it's Reiner.
the end. Well, I guess just to real quick, just to toy with the idea of Reiner, I
Yeah.
think some of the things that Reiner does as a shifter is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Just as being a shield, but also practically getting his head blown off,
Mm-hmm.
and still able to transfer his consciousness throughout his body, which is not necessarily a armor titan ability. Maybe it is. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
But whether it is or isn't, the fact that Reiner did it,
Uh
and
huh.
he being able to do that as a shifter is impressive. So there's plenty of things to admire about his Titan shifting abilities.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, speaking of that ability to transfer his consciousness throughout his body, I initially used to think that it was bound to his armor titan powers because
Uh huh.
it seemed like a defensive ability in a sense,
Yeah.
which would go along nicely, I think, with being the armor titan. So that was always like my
Hmm.
initial thought. Then I remember once I got more like invested in the Attack on Titan fandom, I would see more people implying that, uh, and I think rightfully so, that it might just be something any Titan power has the ability to do if they just learn how to do it, which is like completely fair. Kind of I'm definitely not saying it isn't or that it definitely isn't. But hearing more people say that, or like after a while, I guess I started also sort of thinking that for a bit. But then seeing like the story went on and eventually ended with no other Titan shifter ever showing that ability made me feel obviously not 100% sure, but at least I'm choosing to believe that it is a armored Titan power.
The closest we ever got was Aaron getting his head blown off by Gabby. That's the closest we ever got to potentially some sort of consciousness being transferred. But even then, the focus was more on Zeke catching it, a second after the head's blown off, and enough before the consciousness fades.
Right, and
So
also I would say if Aaron would have had the ability to transfer out his consciousness throughout his body, his consciousness would have left his head if he had done
yeah,
that. In which case, when Zeke caught his head, there wouldn't have been any Aaron in that head, so that
right.
they wouldn't have been able to enter paths together.
It's a very good point.
So
So yeah, that's like the only time I think.
where it could have been
It,
used, but it
yeah.
wasn't, kind
Hmm.
of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, I guess that's our Titan Shifter talk. Moving on to the next one, which the next little topic here, which I think is probably the most fun one, maybe. It's about our favorite pure Titan designs. And obviously there's a lot of great ones out there,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna start off by saying my favorite one out of all of them, and it's not necessarily a super funny one, but it's Dinah Fritz's Titan, the Smiling Titan.
Oh man, you took mine.
Oh, I guess it would probably be a common pick, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, you give your reason.
I mean, first of all, she's super iconic. Like,
Yeah.
she's in like the first episode, first chapter, whatever. Like, she's there, and just really gives the reader slash viewer like an image of how terrifying the Titans can be. Like, it's just really really good at that, and also just in general how throughout the story we've kind of gone back to that moment and we've gotten to see this Titan over and over, and even she actually even appeared later on in the Clash of the Titans arc. So she's like a reoccurring pure Titan, which is pretty rare, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the design is fantastic. I think like that smile is just like one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Yeah.
You know, when you first see the Titan and she eats Aaron's mom, I kind of thought it was a male kind of design. Obviously, back when you're first watching it, that there weren't any sort of sexes, you know,
Right.
with the Titans themselves. But still, the design just kind of looked like a more masculine design. I thought it was just a guy with long blonde hair. And so to get that revelation that it's actually a woman, and not only that, it's freaking Grisha's first wife.
Yeah.
Gosh, the irony in it all is just juicy, and it makes Dinah Fritz, however it's supposed to be said, just that much more iconic and memorable.
Oh yeah.
But it's also how horrifying, as you said, the whole smile is, and how, you know, she breaks Carla's bones
Yeah.
before putting it in her mouth, and that's actually I don't remember if that's in the manga or not.
I can't remember. Been a long time since I read the first volume.
Yeah, good thing.
Yeah.
Have I got an episode for you?
Yes, next month we're actually doing a reread of the first 4 volumes. So just real quick on that. Anyway.
But just that whole scene is very impactful, and I think this Titan is a key reason for that. And like you said, the Clash of Titans arc where Eren and Mikasa have that very sweet moment. I feel like with each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really all because of, not all because of, but she's one of the catalysts. You know, the Titan that was there and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Totally.
good stuff.
And actually, speaking of how she kind of seemingly broke Carla's back or neck before eating her, I guess in a way it was good for Carla to not have to experience being eaten alive. But it's also kind of dumb because if Carla had been a Titan shifter, then Diana wouldn't have gotten her power because she would have died before being eaten.
Yeah, I mean, I think that may be on a technicality, but I think at the same time, like pure Titans have killed people in various ways.
Oh, I mean, obviously, yeah. The pure Titans are dumb Titans.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting intelligence from them. But yeah.
So another, or actually, did you have another one? Sorry.
I mean, yeah, there's just maybe a few other pure Titan designs that might be worthy of mentioning. I like the main one for me is Falco's pure Titan before he became a Titan shifter.
It's a good one.
It's so good. It's like a Pac-Man head sort of, and while at the same time sort of hinting a little bit at like the beak thing, which I thought was very very fun and scary and pretty cool.
Indeed. My last one I want to mention is the Grandpa Titan that eats Eren. I just think that it's just kind of one of those one of the designs that he makes that it looks like a normal face, and yet it's on this gigantic body. So
Right.
in a way, it's just creepily horrifying.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good, and obviously also very story relevant,
Yeah,
kind of like
that
the
too.
Smiling Titan or Dynast Titan. Actually, another Titan just came to mind, Jean's pure Titan design,
Oh
which
yeah.
I thought was really eerie, like with his eyes and like his really wide mouth, like kind of like Joker kind of
Hmm.
mouth, kind of. I thought that was a really good design, but yeah. Any other pure Titans?
The only well, so the only other pure Titans that leave an impact are the ones that you see animated, and they make these really strange movements. Like the
Right.
finger pointing or the running like a giddy schoolgirl kind of a
Yeah.
run.
Right. Yeah, the anime really like brought them to life in a really fun way with like the animations.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Definitely. I
totally.
guess there's also like the one I think it's called by the fans like the Baby Titan. It's one of the ones that the Beast Titan brings on his first appearance. It's like the tiny one with like two massive eyes on each side of the head kind of.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Oh no.
That
I
one
don't.
definitely sticks out.
I like that. There's a at the end of one of the volumes. There's like an ET spoof or something with Armin and
Oh yeah.
that Titan. I don't know if it's ET, but it's something similar, and
Yeah, right.
that's hilarious. But that Titan is just so creepy, man.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
gosh,
it is, it
it's just
is.
disturbing. Ugh.
Oh my god, yeah. But like something I have like I think we've all talked about or we both talked about a lot throughout our chapter discussions is just how amazing Yusuyama is at coming up with these Titan designs, especially I think the pure Titans. Like he does it
Hmm.
so well. And actually, brief tangent, but well, I think we have time for it. um, I've read the spin-off manga called Before the Fall.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of it.
Hmm.
It's 17 volumes long. A little too
Whoa,
long, if you ask me.
whoa,
Yeah.
17 volumes?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
I don't think it would have needed to be that long, but it is, and I've read it all. In fact, I have every book in my bookshelf. Um, but anyway, it's like I guess if you're really just thirsty for Attack on Titan content, then read it. But if not, then kind of stay away. It's not like it's not bad, but it's definitely nothing that great. But anyway, it's written and illustrated by someone else. So like Isayama isn't involved. I mean I'm sure that he gave like he confirmed it or like something like that, but he hasn't actually worked on it. And you can really see like the Pure Titan designs in that one are not at all as good as Isayama's.
Hmm.
It's just like it's a clear difference in I guess the approach to designing them. Like it's just they're more just monsters and less like they're because I feel like Isayama's Pure Titan designs have some kind of humanity inside them.
Right. Hmm.
It's hard to describe, but like there's something like that, and I think he just nails it so well. Like the balance between humanity and monstrosity in Isayama's Pure Titans is just on point, but this one doesn't really nail that at all. But yeah, it's a skill.
Indeed.
So our last little piece of discussion for this one is if we had a Titan power, which one would we most like to have if we could choose one of the nine Titan powers? And again, as for everything that we're talking about, please let us know your answers in the comments if you're listening on YouTube. But James, would you like to go first?
Sure. I thought about this one, and I think without a doubt, I go with the Warhammer Titan.
Mm.
I just like the versatility of that power to be able to basically choose whatever weapon you want to create.
Uh huh.
Um, and the design, as long as I get a cool design, I think I'll be pretty happy. So, Ymir, don't let me down. Uh,
Yeah, it's all in the hands of Emir.
I can give you some, suggestions if you like. Uh, but yeah, and like I said, the versatility, we don't even know if the Warhammer Titan shifters all start off in a crystal like Laura did,
Mm.
or if that was that something that she developed. And if it is something she developed, even that's even greater a greater point because that power can be uh, built upon and maybe
Yeah,
even improved on.
for sure. Actually, that's something I imagine with the Warhammer. I imagine it's a lot about skill and practice because we see Lara creating like a variety of different weapons, and also she changes the terrain and stuff like that. I imagine like all of those moves like took her like quite a lot of practice to perfect, like creating a crossbow that can fire off like a bullet like that.
Hmm.
I'm sure is something she had to really learn. I imagine. Obviously, we can't say for sure, but it seems like it seems more skill based or skill oriented than some other Titans. I feel.
Yeah. Now less probably less combat equipped. So again, it could be just based on the shifter, but still, I think just having the ability to create different weapons and yeah, like you said, skill and
Mm.
um, time to perfect it. I think that makes it a power that I would want the most.
Yeah, I think that's a very good pick. For me, it's a really close call between the Warhammer Titan and the Armored Titan.
Mm.
Again, as I said at the beginning, I'm sort of a sucker for like high defense. I think that's kind of a cool thing.
Hmm.
I think you can rely on good defense to a pretty big extent. Actually, there's an anime that I thought was really good that came out. I think it was last year. It's like a Sword Art Online esque anime about a
Oh, is
girl.
the character name Maple?
Yes, and she
I
like
wanted to see that.
she creates like a character in this MMO RPG game, and she just maxes out the defense completely because she doesn't want to get hurt. And I related so much to her. I thought, I mean, it's like purely a comedy. It's like it's so funny. It's really well made. Like as just like a funny anime, it's really great. It's getting a second season, by the way. But anyway, just in case anyone has seen that, that's basically me. So the Armor Titan, I think, would fit me if I would have a say in which of the 9 powers I would get. I think the Armor Titan, but at the same time, as we were talking about, the Warhammer obviously is amazing as well. So it's a close one between those. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go with the Armor Titan though.
Fair.
But yeah, that's I think all we had at least planned for today. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Oh gosh. I guess some like dishonorable mentions. Uh, I don't like Ymir's Jaw Titan. I always found it like kind of
Hmm.
grody.
Right.
Grody's not the right word, but I don't know. Just it's like, ugh. I like the other Jaw Titans that we've seen.
Yeah, I feel Ymir's Jaw Titan is also like it doesn't really have a prominent jaw, which makes it
Yeah.
strange to consider it a jaw titan. I mean, obviously, it is a jaw titan, but
Hmm.
it doesn't seem jaw related. I feel like that might just have to do with the fact that Isayama might not have like made up all of the 9 titans by the like at the time when he
Hmm.
designed her titan. Like it might just be something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, I do agree with you. Like it feels a little bit odd.
Yeah. And then I like Annie and I like the female Titan for various reasons. uh, yeah, to each their own. But it's the thing is, it's not. There's no like absolute reasoning why the female Titan exists. Like, what is its
Hmm.
true power other than maybe a somewhat of a adaptability? You know,
Yeah.
I don't even
Although
know.
exactly like it seemed like near the end of the manga they were kind of or Isayama was kind of hinting toward the female titan being especially easy like having an especially easy time to adapt to other titan powers, but then again we saw like Falco's jaw titan was able to get like a beast titan wings without any issue at all seemingly. So
Right, and Aaron was able to get his hardening. You know,
exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Like
Exactly.
it almost seems like the only point for the female Titan was just fan service. I guess.
Yeah, I like one other thing I could see kind of lore related for the female Titan is that maybe although this is also a little bit weird, but the fact that Ymir, the founder, was female,
Yeah.
like it kind of
Well,
represents that. Although that still feels a little bit weird.
it does, but I think if we look at it as the founding Titan has all the powers of the Nine, and the Nine kind of split off from that.
Yeah.
If we look at the founding Titan, that there is, the boobage
True. True.
in the
Yeah.
in the founding Titan. So I guess that's got to go somewhere, folks. Who's gonna get it?
Yeah.
So is that so? So I get boobs and a big butt. That's it. Yep, that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, you better be able to use judo or karate or something. Like, good
Yeah,
luck.
actually, and speaking of that's also another thing that's questionable, seeing as we haven't seen really any other female titans besides Annie. I guess we saw some in the Battle of Heaven and Earth, but not enough to really
Yeah.
make too much of a call. But related to that is like, is the female titan more nimble and agile compared to most other ones, or is it just because Annie is holding it? Like, we can't really say for sure.
Yeah. True.
So that's also something I would love for the fact to be that the female titan has a better a better chance of being more agile and nimble and dexterous and stuff like that. But we can't really say because obviously Annie in her regular form has all of those abilities too. Or anyway.
Right. That said, I think Annie does a fantastic job in the female Titan body. I mean, fantastic. Fantastic. Not as in like I like the fact that she was killing a lot of people, but like she uses it the best ability, and she shines.
She does. Oh, absolutely. I mean, she had an entire arc dedicated to herself. Like no other Titan can say that.
Yeah, true.
So yeah.
I think as far as dislikes, that may be really all I have.
That's fair.
Do you have any dislikes?
Not really. I mean, other than basically what you said, like Ymir's Titan definitely is a bit weird, especially considering it's supposed to be a Jaw Titan. And like my gripes with the idea of the female Titan. We've talked about that. But yeah, no, I don't think so. I guess I'd like to give a little bit of a shout out to the Cart Titan. We haven't.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
We haven't mentioned it today, but I think it's like durability and like being able to like be in the Titan form for so long is super cool, and also the way we see Peak use it in the Battle of Heaven and Earth, just like basically creating a new Titan like every second, kind of. So cool. Like no other Titan can do that, and I thought that was such a really awesome ability.
In terms of my opinions improving of Titans over time, it was the Cart Titan, like the most improved for
Definitely.
me. Because when you first see it, like you don't even think it's a special Titan at all. You just think it's a Titan that, I don't know, is just a regular pure Titan.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Beast Titan, you know? And then you find out it is one. It's kind of like, all right. And for me, it was just, it seems kind of, she got the short end of the stick there.
Yeah.
But over time, and I guess this is more credit to Peak, is you see how she uses it and how useful it can be. And then in that battle with Heaven and Earth, she just goes turbo mode and you know, it really impresses. It really impressed me, at least.
Absolutely. Definitely. And I think she is, or at least, yeah, I guess at least Peak's Cart Titan, and I guess it might just be the Cart Titan in general, is the smallest out of all of the 9 Titans. I think it is slightly shorter than the Jaw Titan.
Oh, is it really?
I think so. I think I think the Cart Titan is 4 meters and the Jaw is 5 meters, if I recall. But I mean, they're both like relatively small for being Titans, or at least for being Titan shifters. But yeah, and actually speaking of that, because you know how in the manga, Isayama hadn't really made up his mind on who the identity of the Cart Titan would be in the Return to Shiganshina arc.
Yeah.
So in the battle in Shiganshina, he drew the Cart Titan's face differently than he did in the Marley arc onward.
That's true. Yeah.
So that actually confused me a hell of a lot when I moved into the Marley arc. I picked up the pieces. I understood that Peak was the Titan with that they had put like armor and like a panzer unit on. Like I understood that, but I did not understand until I think the very end of the Marley arc. I understood that it was the same Titan that appeared in the Battle of Shiganshina. Like, yeah, it took me like the entire Marley arc to to understand that. So I'm glad they kind of retconned that or changed that up in the anime. But yeah, it was a strange day when I realized that. I actually, in brief tangent again, before we started Titan Tea Time, I did, and before we started like a lot of the podcasts that we've been doing, I was doing another podcast on a Zelda forum. It was like just for a Zelda forum. So we had like a small little following at the forums, and we did topics on basically whatever we wanted to. We could talk about anything in whichever in the episodes. And so there was one episode that I did with two guests where we actually talked about Attack on Titan, just kind of in general talked about the series. And this was in, I think, spring or something of 2018.
Okay.
And it was during that discussion, actually, during that recording, that the other two that I was talking to made me realize that Peak was, or that was the Car Titan in the Return to Shiganshina arc. So it was actually on recording somewhere on YouTube. But yeah, that's definitely probably my biggest derp moment, I think, in the Attack on Titan fandom.
I think I was just shocked that it had any relevancy in the story, or like, it was any sort of special Titan. I was like, what the?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really cool how they just kind of introduce it as.
It's pretty nonchalant.
Yeah, it's very nonchalant, and and because of it, it's so small and doesn't really look that special. I don't think most people assume it's a Titan shifter at first. Because my thought was that it was just a Titan controlled by Zeke.
Yeah.
Initially, but anyway, we've talked enough about that probably.
True.
But I guess that's it for today.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. So, and again, if anyone listening wants to share their thoughts on this, their favorite Titans, and whatever categories that we've talked about throughout this episode, please share them in the YouTube comments if you're listening there. If you enjoy our content, you can follow us on Twitter at Umami Manga. And it would be lovely if you'd like to support us by either rating our show on the podcast platforms or subscribing to our channel Umami Manga on YouTube. If you like this episode, please share it around with anyone you think might enjoy it too. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when James and I will begin our read-through of Attack on Titan, starting with the first 4 volumes, basically the Frost arc. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
See you later.